Hi everyone, I'm Jill Gillespie, just doing some yoga talks with you. Today I want to focus on dialing in to your best lunge. In our yoga practice and a lot of our gym practices, a lunge is kind of our foundation of a lot of the other work we do in our classes. And so I wanted to take some time to help us set up a lunge that feels strong and stable in the body that we have. Because the way that our bodies are and how our bones connect in our hip sockets and all of those fun things, a lunge can look different on each of our bodies, and stability is different looking in each of our bodies depending on just a lot of different factors of our mobility and flexibility and all of that wonderful, wonderful stuff. And so I thought it would be just fun to talk about lunges today, right? Cool. So typically when we do a lunge in a class, we're starting at the top of our mat and we're stepping back into it like so. And so there's some basic things to consider when you're setting up your lunge. You might consider just really rooting your heel into the floor and then trying to stack your knee over that ankle to do some nice stable joint stacking there. And then your hips, the energy of our hips is that we're drawing our back hip forward and drawing our front hip back. And we're trying to keep them even and drawing toward the midline of our body here. And then once we've set that foundation, then we see about maybe stacking our shoulders right over our hips. And just seeing how that feels and testing the waters here. And so at this point, you can start to fine tune your lunge. And so I think of it like tuning a radio so you can get the best sound. And so in a lunge, we have two knobs, right? We have our front leg knob and we have our back leg knob. And so once we step back into our lunge and done some initial foundation setting movements, we can use our front leg to be our balance knob. So if we're feeling like we might tip over, our front foot can possibly walk out a little bit wider and create a wider base under our body. And that will be more stable and feel more stable. And then our back leg knob is what I like to call our spiciness setting. And so if you're not really ready for a deep lunge yet, you can still achieve the benefit of a lunge with taking a shorter stance. And that's going to be more stable here for you too. So you can still bend that front knee. You can still draw the hips toward the midline, even in your shorter stance here. And so if you want to get really into a deep lunge and make it really spicy, then you take your spicy knob back, realign your hips, bend that front knee, and just find the variation of a lunge that really feels like you're grounded, you're supported. And then when your teachers ask you to raise your arms or do twists, you don't feel like you're immediately going to fall over. And so the work in our lunge here then is still drawing our hips together and really rooting our feet into the floor and being strong and active here. Now, if you're working up to standing postures, you have a chair, my favorite prop here. You can utilize a chair during your yoga practice to help with stability and support here. And so you can just have a chair just near you as you step back into your lunge and you fine tune it. And then you have a little bit of balance support while you make those adjustments, whatever they look like. And then you can experiment with the arm variations being offered in the class from here. If you have a condition that makes it hard to stand at all, your chair can support you as you make the lunge shape and the actions with your legs without having to worry about falling over or getting fatigued. or anything. So you can sit in your chair and just slide your hips over to one side. So you can put one of your thighs across the seat, and that's your support here. And then your back leg just kind of becomes decoration. So you can work with the long variation of your lunge, or maybe you have a block or a book or something to prop your knee and support your knee here, while you work on really just finding that foundation in your front knee and energetically drawing those hips together. And then you have the back of your chair for support for those arm variations that may be offered. And so that is my talk on how to fine-tune your lunge. I hope you have fun, safe, wonderful yoga practice. See you later.